took me from there to the track, and so I arrived at the track still in a suit and whatever, and people just stood there with their mouth wide open and must have thought, what the hell have we got here? At the last minute, I was really busy at work with the tree surgery company in England, and at the last minute I decided I was going to go to the Winter Nationals in Pomona. And while I was there, I met up with Bob Meyer from Meyer Race Cars, who I've known for 15 or 16 years before that, and said he'd been trying to get hold of me and would I be interested in going to Australia. He built a car for a guy over here, Adrian Posibon, and there was a few local guys who'd driven it and deemed it dangerous, and there was could we go down there and sort the car out? And I said, yeah, not a drama. I said, but I'll just check with the guys back in England, sure they can leave me.
Yeah.
I can go for a month. And so I went back, and sure enough, yeah, okay. So that was it. I phoned up Bob, said, yeah, let's go and do it. The flight down. I mean, at the time I was married to an air hostess who used to work for United Airlines. So I always used to travel everywhere, either business or first class.
Yeah.
So there was me. I mean, I called in that I went from Heathrow down across to LA, picked up Bob on the way through, and then flew into Australia. Well, when you fly either business or first, you've always got a suit. It was like I wore Italian suits, Italian loafers and all the rest of it, and called in, picked up Bob on the way, and I felt sorry for him. There's me sat in first class drinking champagne, and there's Bob back in the coach in the back. And then we arrive at Tullamarine airport, and I'm still in my suit and still in my loafers, and there's Bob in his normal shorts and t-shirt, and we were met by a bunch of, all you can say is North Queensland ragbags in the nicest possible sense. I mean, they're typical North Queenslanders, we all do the same now, singlet, pair of stubbies and a pair of thongs, and that was it. And the look on their faces, I mean, they took me from there to the track, and so I arrived at the track still in a suit and whatever, and people just stood there with their mouth wide open and must have thought, what the hell have we got here? We did a seat fitting, and it was at that time, that was a very lay-down, what we call a lay-down seat. You had to, it was a trend at the time, which I didn't particularly like. All the cars that we'd either built or had built for us, they were very upright seats, so that I just feel more comfortable. And I had to get Adrian, I mean, because it was made for a taller guy than me. I got a long body but short legs, and so Adrian actually carved some blocks that sat on the clutch and the throttle pedal for me to reach the pedals comfortably.
Yeah.
Then we had to get another 4 or 5 cushions that actually sat up behind me, so to push me forward more. Once I felt comfortable, it was, okay, we'll go with this. Well, we went for the first pass, and the relevant officials here said, oh, you know, this car's dangerous, you're going to have to do it on your own, and we want you to do a test pass, and okay, we'll do this. And so on the first run, there still wasn't enough padding behind me, and when I left the start line, the foot slid off the throttle because I slid back up the seat. So they were real happy with that I got off it. Didn't tell them that it was like my foot had slid away from the throttle. But anyway, it's the next pass, we came out and made a few adjustments, come out and we run 602 straight off the trailer, which was about 3/10 quicker than anybody else had ever run here.
Yeah.
And then we run 602, 604 and 602, reset every record, reset the national speed record here, and I had an absolute ball. And met some fabulous people, had a great time, a big party afterwards. From there, I mean, we went to the breakfast the next morning, which was a new deal for me. You know, never had these breakfasts in the morning anyway. Obviously, we got the long distance award, and it was something else, and I just really enjoyed it. When I got back to England, I thought, well, you know, I've been working really hard. We had an American company trying to buy my company in England. And I spoke to my accountant, I spoke to my solicitor, and with the common market coming in 1992, we decided to sell the company. And they said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'd like to go back to Australia
and
race there. So in the meantime, I'd ordered a new car off of Bob Meyer, and I said, this is the deal. I said, you got about 30 days to start and finish, and that's it. So anyway, the car was delivered on time. We came out and we ran 6:16 with it, the first meeting. Basically got the car settled down, and then Bob came out for the next meeting, and that was at Avon Park Raceway. And we ran 5:97 off the trailer, set a new European record. So it was nice to be the first 5-second car on alcohol outside America. With those sort of performances, we went through and we won the championship again that year, in 1992, and by mid-year we already decided that we would try and run the last 4 meetings in America. One in Houston, one in Dallas, one in Arizona, in Phoenix, the Winter Nationals. Well, it's like every person's dream who's been drag racing. You always want to go and try to pit yourself against perceivably the best in the world, which you had to go to America. I mean, that was really the birthplace, even though sprinting and whatever you have been everywhere else, really the first place of organised drag racing was America. So it was always a dream to actually go there, but I swore that I would never ever go there if I couldn't compete with a chance of winning. And when the car started running good in Europe, and we just decided, well, okay, by about May, June time, that I would like to run the last 4 meetings in America. First meeting was at Houston. By the time we got the truck and trailer out of the wharf there, and the meeting was almost all started. So we got from there, got myself, got SFI Tech, got my NHRA license, everything was go. So we were out there, I think there was about 24 cars for an 8-car field. We ended up qualifying number 11 out of it, which meant that we weren't in the field. We were on the alternates. So that was a bit of a learning experience. From there, we went on to Dallas, which was arguably one of the fastest tracks in the world at the time, full concrete all the way through. Anyway, we did the first run, we ran 6:16, had a look at the computer, and I mean, at that time we didn't have a monitor, we just had the paper, the old paper. Paper graph that you had to look at, and we made some adjustments. It went out and ran 6:20, and I just said to Bob Meyer was helping at the time, I said, Bob, we're going the wrong way. No, it needs more clutch, I said, it's spinning the tyre. Anyway, we went out and put some more clutch into it, and it ran 6:24. When there was 44 cars there, I just, the prospect of not qualifying again. So anyway, we just on the last run, I said, right, we're going to come up, we're going to pull all the clutch back out of it again. So as we turned down the fire road, I'm at the back in the clutch pulling off as much weight as I can. We come out, we ran 6:04. Still put us 23rd or 24th, I think it was, in the field, so we weren't in the field again. So after that, we just went back to European settings. This is what I know the car likes. We went to Phoenix in Arizona. When I first run one number 1 qualifier, new track record in Phoenix. And everybody's just, what happened there? I said, no, it was just, we put it back out, the car likes to be run. We went there and I got hole shot first round. I mean, not very often people hole shot me. I just, not sure what happened. My mind wasn't on the job. And anyway, I got beaten in the first round, which sort of annoyed me a little bit, a point to prove. And so from there we went on to Pomona. Well, this is like the King of Kings, the track. This is the finals, the one that everybody wants to win. And so we arrived there, and the car's going through tech, and they've gone, oh, you can't race. He said, because your car's illegal. And not your car, he said, your fire suit's illegal. And this is all FIA equipment, boots, this, that, Simpson helmet. And so we started, I said, well, who do we see about this? I said, because I've been racing for 3 meetings here with this equipment. And, well, you can't race here. I said, well, you better go and get the person in charge of scrutineering there. Oh, we can't, he's on the golf course. I said, well, you best go and get him. I said, because I'm in there. If not, I said, I'll employ a lawyer and I'll start suing you. And they just looked, what do you mean? I said, well, you've allowed me to race, according to you, you've allowed me to race for 3 meetings with unsafe equipment.
Yeah.
I might as well get the lawyers involved and get suing. I mean, anyway, next moment Graham Light came down and they dragged him off the golf course, and he came down and he said, "Oh, let me see what I can do." Anyway, the next morning I got called down to Scribner Bay, and they presented me with a new Simpson helmet, Simpson suit, Simpson boots, Simpson gloves, new harness, everything else, with the compliments of NHRA. So thanks very much, NHRA. I mean, it came good in the end. So we went. I mean, it was really exciting. I mean, real good atmosphere. We were number one qualifier, and we were number one qualifier right through to the last pairing on the end of qualifying. We ended up number 2 qualifier, and so we went through, and the eliminations we took out Bill Barney, who was a world champion, Winston champion, first round. We took out Jay Payne the second round.
Rick Santos
with the small block in the third round, and we had another guy who hadn't won a meeting in the final. And I slightly beat him off the line, and we got to, this was real late. I mean, they had just one light tower at the end. Everything was running late. They had one light tower at the end, and for whatever reason I just shut off. I shut off just before the finish line. Because I was thinking about the car was supposed to go that night into the container to go to Australia, to race in Australia. The final was down here in November. And I just clicked it a little bit early, got me right in the lights. I lost by 7 thousandths of a second. So,
and still to this day, do you know why you clicked it early? Was it just the track being dark?
No, it's like we used to run in the dark in Europe, more so than what we do here. Here we got very good lighting. No, I think it was just a psychological thing that for whatever reason, maybe I just didn't get my bearings right on the finish line, and I thought I hadn't seen him. And maybe I just clicked it just that little fraction early. I mean, I don't know. But I was so annoyed with myself because I'd been the first non-American to ever won a national event, and what I want to win the Winston finals. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's history. I would like to go back one day, and I mean, realistically, they were in top fuel to win against the Americans in America in top fuel. You just absolutely dream. You've got more chance of being landing on Mars than you're doing that. You've got so many years of experience and so much money over there.
Yeah.
Whereas at that time in '92 we could compete.
Yeah.
With the alcohol car.
Yeah.
But did I regret? No, I'm very proud of what we achieved. I mean, that year, coming here and setting the national record here, going back to America, and going back to England and setting the record in Europe. First car outside America to run 5-second pass on alcohol. Then, to me, I mean, doing very, very well in America for, basically it was out of my own pocket. I would help by Castrol at the time to get the car across there.
Yep.
But essentially we were just a small team out of our own pocket.
Yep.
And very, very proud of what we achieved at the time. It's like I said, I was very, very proud of our achievements. I mean, then it was just on to here and just see what we could do here. Do I regret? I mean, I think that we could have possibly done real well in America.
Yeah.
But couldn't do it with funding. I mean, it was luckily, I had the money at the time that we could have, if we could have stayed there, maybe done another season, we could have run quicker again.
Yeah.
As it was, we were still the third quickest car in the world in top alcohol golf at that time.
Wow.